I am attempting to support an alternative lifestyle, which includes polygyny. And I explained it in my first blog that it is the relationship between one husband and several wives. And it's something that I'm interested in because I was introduced to it as an alternative to single parenthood, which wasn't fun. So I was looking for another way to have a relationship that would be supportive for my children. And I feel like polygyny is the best thing for children. Even my daughter right now, she gets really worn out even with one child. My daughter-in-law, same thing, one child wears them out. But if the child had other parents in the household, namely other mothers in the household that they could talk to, it would give one mother a rest. And yes, the father, he should be there too. I'm not excluding him from child rearing. I just know that the nurturing energy that women have is very important in a child's early development. And from my experiences, when I was raising my children alone, I would get so stressed out. And I think that's really how people abuse their children, is because they don't have enough help. So that's why I feel one of the reasons that polygyny would definitely benefit society, amongst other reasons. It's not just so that men could have more sex with more women, and that's a misconception that I would like to try to dispel. So I mentioned Dr. Dixon Spears' book, We Want for Our Sisters What We Want for Ourselves. And I also mentioned Sabon Fusome's book. And in Sabon Fusome's book, she says that polygyny is when a woman is happy in her relationship and she wants to share that happiness. And she also says that women choose polygyny when they want to have more female energy in the house to make the house more lively. To me, that is the best description of it. I mean, besides everything else, put everything else aside, that is the best description to me of polygyny. So I would just like to speak a little bit more about how it's possible. You know, once you eliminated the jealousy and insecurity that a lot of women have, and you want to embrace the sisterhood, you don't want to be a single mother, and you have this man that you really, really love, and you may even have a child for, but he has several women that like him and want to be with him, and they pursue him. So what do? Do you get jealous? Do you give him an ultimatum? Do you break up your relationship? Now, I'm gonna remind you that you really do love this man. You don't want to let him go. Your child loves him. What do? You're in a predicament. Or, like I explained my situation, what if you are already a single mother and your children's father is not around? Do you feel like your children don't need a father? Do you feel like you as a woman are enough of a father and a mother? I'm going to tell you from experience, that's not true. Children need their father. There's a different energy that fathers give. There are different gifts and blessings that fathers give. And I'm not a man, and I can't give my children what a man could give my children. And I know that, like I mentioned before, is because I had my father, and I know the contribution that he made to our household. My mother could not have made that. You know, she made the contribution she made, he made the contribution he made, and that made us well-rounded young people and adults. So my wanting to come online, my speaking out about something that's in this society illegal, some people think immoral, is because I really feel strongly about the fact that it could actually save a lot of relationships and heal us, bring us closer together. That is my ambition. Nothing more than that. I guess it's so unbelievable that a woman would agree with or consent to polygyny. And I guess I can understand that, but in this lifetime, I have experienced enough life to know that monogamy wasn't working for me. It was, like I mentioned before, I've been married 3 times. It was a lot of work because I give a lot. I believe in traditional roles, and that doesn't mean that I don't want to have a career, but I don't want to sacrifice a family for a career. I don't think that's a fair trade, because in my African American relationships class, some students, they did a story about a woman who actually committed suicide because she had built her career, she had made the money that she wanted to make, she felt successful, but she was alone. She was alone, and she committed suicide as a result. Because in reality, what good is a career? What good is success? What good is money? What good is material possessions? And these are all the things that we put before family in this society. We tell our young people, we tell young girls, oh, don't go and have a baby. Keep your figure, or get your career together first. And we really feel like you need a lot of money to raise a child. And if you look at people that have a lot of money, that particular child is not happy. And if you talk to that child, the only thing they ever wanted was love and time with their parents. And their parents think that the children needs all this material possessions, so they work to death and they don't spend any time with the children, and that child just wants to feel loved. And when you have a polygynous family, you have enough people around that people can actually have a career, go to work, but there'll always be somebody there for the child. There'll always be somebody. And in my opinion, the more the merrier. But she has to be initiated. She has to go through Sacred Woman training. Most women are, even though the idea sounds good to them, they still have a lot of issues that they have to get over, because trust me, even women that say they're they're down with polygamy and polygyny, when they're given the opportunity, the jealousy and the insecurity surface. So you really have to purge that first. I'm looking forward to having a big family. A big family. The more the merrier. The men that I love, there's always a lot of women that love them. So I just want to make it clear that if a woman loves the man that I love, she's not my enemy, she's my family. I have been working on realigning myself with nature. Nature is not my enemy. So I'm talking about self-sustainability. There's never been more reason to have an extended family or a polygynous family than now. I don't think any of us want to be out there alone. So the more people we have close to us, the better. The more like-minded people we have close to us, the better. The polygyny movement seems to be picking up momentum amongst the sisters. I'm so proud of that. Although I am not an expert and I'm still working through my challenges in my family, it's coming along. We've had some really groundbreaking, heartwarming, tear-jerking situations that only bring us closer together. And I really appreciate every single experience, because as long as it's made in love, then there's progress being made. That circle of love is the circle of life. And I've discovered that the people that end up loveless are the ones who die. I don't care how well you take care of yourself, how good you eat. At the end of the day, like in the movie Mahogany, if you have no one to share it with, then it means nothing. All you have is your family. And that's the only thing that's important. Unconditional love is only one side of the coin, because unconditional love is unconditional giving, unconditional sharing, and that is truly in my eye, without expectation of receiving anything in return. Because in a circle of love called polygyny, if you're giving love to someone and that very someone does not give the love back to you, there's someone else in that circle who will love you just the same. And that's how we become nourished. And that's how we're able to continue nourishing. And the circle of love, the circle of life continues in a polygynous family. However, in a monogamous situation, where there's not enough love to go around, and people use phrases like familiarity breeds contempt, nature abhors, avoid. Nature doesn't abhor anything. Nature is in harmony and at peace with everything. So before you use quotes, figure out where it came from, because whatever you speak is what you'll have. And in a monogamous situation, that seems to be where that term or that phrase derived. Familiarity, the word family is in there. So why would you have contempt for your family? And there's some people that say you shouldn't mix business with family. Never work with your family. All of those things have kept us in a dysfunctional state. Have you seen that to be functional? I lived in New York for a period of time, and I didn't see any of the Jews in that community saying not to work for your family. It was taboo. So we want to eliminate those terms and those phrases, because unity is where you'll find balance and togetherness and sharing. All of those are the principles of our ancient ancestors, right here and in the continent we call Africa. Unity, togetherness. The concepts are written on the walls of the pyramids, as is the prophecy. I understand that the original monogamous family that wants to expand their family should have a tight bond because they are the foundation. But when you welcome a sister into your home, you know that she is just as valuable as you are. And if she's balanced, she'll understand and respect that your experience means the world to her. And it's not that you're more important or she's more important because she's new. Across the board, Ma'at is balanced, where everybody is appreciated for who they are. The newness and the experience. And that is the continuation of the circle of love. That is self-sustainability. People survive and live and thrive off of the greatest healer, and that's love. And so as long as we keep that circle of love in circulation, and people are giving love, and people are receiving love, then we will be self-sustained. We don't need anything else. I just want people to realize that the most important and valuable asset that we have is our families. And a lot of times we get to battling men so much that we end up alone. And then we try to tell ourselves that we're okay, but we're really not. It's what I've learned from reading books like An Afrocentric Guide to a Spiritual Union by Ra-Unefer Amen. We Want for Our Sisters What We Want for Ourselves by Patricia Dixon Spear. And coupled with a lot of the other relationship books that I have had the privilege of reading and sharing and absorbing. And, a few empires right here in my day and time that I've had the privilege of witnessing that are successful because there is a sisterhood and it is functioning, and they're raising children, they're raising empires, they're raising schools, they're raising restaurants and businesses, and they're self-sustainable. And that is what I would like to address, is our own self-sustainability in these very turbulent times. And the most valuable resource that we will have will be our families. And the more the merrier. So there's a few polygyny movements that only want a limited amount. And in the concept of the Olmec Mind cosmology system, limitlessness is omnipotence, omnipresence, all of the limitlessness that the concept of God has been derived around. And if we're gods and goddess and we're made in the likeness of God, then that's what we are. We're limitless. And this is not about entertaining one another. This is about combining skills and resources so that we will have a presence in this new world that's upon us. It's about the circle of love that continues. And there's a lot of talk about unconditional love, and true enough, one should love limitlessly, which means unconditionally. However, in order for you to be able to continue to love unconditionally, love must be returned to you. And that's why a polygynous environment is so crucial. Because a lot of times people find that in a monogamous situation, there's not enough love to go around. And although you might be giving your love unconditionally, the receiver of your love could be giving it to someone else and not you outside of your home. And if it were a polygynous family, then it would be okay. Because if you're giving him love and he's giving another one in your circle love, then that love is going to come back to you. However, if he's giving that love to someone outside of the circle, and outside of the circle by their own choice, or if he still has a need to have escapism, someplace to go that he doesn't have to be accountable for, then he's not ready for polygyny. He's not ready. And by the same token, if a woman still has a desire to be the secret liaison, or to pull him away from his circle of power, circle of life, circle of energy, she's not a good choice for polygyny either. So the proper mate selection is very crucial. And it's not based on how physically attracted you are to someone. It's not based on how good the sex is. It should be purely about the combination and the combining of purposes and the evolution of our DNA. Because I think we've gotten about as close to the gutter as we can get. So we want to rise up out of that like the phoenix. And we want to see our true manifestation. I want to see it in my lifetime.